PBS. I'm going to stop other things. I like PBS. I love Big Bird. I actually like you too. But I'm not going to keep on spending money on things to borrow money from China to pay for.
Somebody is finally getting tough on Big Bird. You want me to say it, Big Bird? Somebody's finally cracking down on Big Bird.
These are tough times with real serious issues. So you have to scratch your head when the president spends the last week talking about saving Big Bird.
Okay, Charles, today's developments and, well, Big Bird.
The Democrats are actually running an ad showing Big Bird and contrasting it with all the bad guys on Wall Street.
Well, let's just play it, because you might as well.
So I'm just a prop here, aren't you?
Right, sure. I mean, you're teeing it up. Let's go ahead and play it.
Bernie Madoff, Ken Lay, Dennis Kozlowski, criminals, gluttons of greed, and the evil genius who towered over them, one man has the guts to speak his name.
Big Bird. Big Bird. Big Bird.
It's me, Big Bird.
Big, yellow, a menace to our economy. Mitt Romney knows it's not Wall Street you have to worry about, it's Sesame Street.
Charles.
This could be the worst ad I've ever seen, and I make an appeal to the people in Chicago, run this ad every night over and over again, spend all your money and time on this. This is an ad that is trivial, it diminishes the presidency. It assumes, of course, that everybody wants to subsidize a company that, as we just heard from Shannon, is a third of a billion-dollar enterprise. And for Obama to be talking about it, I love the way he said this is the biggest driver of our debt. Well, the biggest driver of our debt, according to Obama himself, is Medicare. He's done nothing on that. And it was the same riff on Medicare that Romney mentioned PBS as a way to say we're going to go from the biggest expenditures to the most trivial expenditures because we have to go after everything when we have a deficit this large. And as just an additional thing, for anybody to run an ad that reminds people of the worst debate that any president has ever had, I think it's a big mistake, and I hope they just keep running it until the end of time.
So I guess, Charles, that's the big question. If the strategy was at the beginning, paint Mitt Romney as this corporate raider, paint him as the rich guy who doesn't care about you, paint him as the guy who's out of touch, who can't deal with the middle class, if that didn't work because that debate shattered that, then you're dealing with a record. What happens?
They don't have anything. The reason they went after the kill Romney strategy is because they calculated correctly. They can't run on the record. They can't run on stewardship. Huge debt, high chronic unemployment, the worst recovery since the Second World War. You can't run on that. You can't run on the future or a vision because he doesn't have a program. He has nothing on Medicare, nothing on entitlements, nothing on the debt, nothing. So all you can do is to destroy the opponent, and that's, you know, that's a strategy. The problem is, and they succeeded. Look, Obama was ahead for months and months because of the millions of dollars of ads that, as you said, portrayed him as a heartless plutocrat. You know, the worst ad is the one where, you know, the widowed husband of a woman who died, laid off steelworker, looks at the camera and says Obama didn't care. Romney didn't care about her or about anybody.
That was a super PAC ad, but...
yeah, super.
But I'm just clarifying.
Yeah. Okay, full disclosure. The Obama people had nothing at all to do with it, and we all acknowledge that.
I get the emails, you don't.
That's true. Okay, I'll give you that one. And then these ads that went on forever. He wants to raise taxes on the middle class, lower them on the rich. Now, what Romney did in the debate, in 6 minutes he demolished all that because he showed it's not true. So what are you left with? All they're left with, and except apart from the Big Bird ad, the other ads, which show incessantly during Nationals games, which ruins them for me, is to say that Romney lied in the debates. So everything he said to explain his position, which are his positions, are lies. Now that's the bottom of the barrel, and I'm not sure it's going to take. I think it's not going to take, and they're going to have to find a strategy which isn't easy with a month to go. When you go back and look at what Susan Rice said, she didn't just say this was a demonstration and it wasn't a terror attack. I remember the words she said, there was no evidence it was a terror attack. Now that is a stretch way beyond simply getting it wrong. There was a ton of evidence it was a terrorist attack. You might have said the preponderance is that it was a demonstration or we have some evidence. So they went way out on a limb with something that was absolutely wrong, obviously wrong, embarrassingly wrong, and this is a scandal, and the fact that it only been of interest to us and to a few others is really a second scandal.